Hey guys, welcome to the Bent Wheels Sprint Enduro, round 5 of the Sprint Enduro series up in Rose City, Michigan on July 14th, 2019. We're going to start off the day here on the motocross test. So at this point, if you guys follow the series, if you guys watch other guys' videos, you know I'm about a week and a half late right now getting this video out. And you know, that's just life when work gets in the way. We got out of here, I want to say it was around 6 o'clock at night, and I've got about a 4-hour drive home from Rose City to Granville or Southern Grand Rapids area. So yeah, it was pretty late to be able to do anything with editing out of the video or anything, and I just ended up going up to Beaver Island for work. So yeah, I've been stuck on the island for about a week and didn't really have good internet. So I apologize to any of you guys that have been waiting to see this video. If you weren't here, it's a real shame because this track was awesome. Just like the Hare Scramble was, the Sprint Enduro was really, really good. The track was awesome. As you can tell, it was in the low 90s during the day today, or during the race. And they didn't really have much rain up here at all. Didn't keep from having any wet spots. There were definitely a couple wet spots still on the track, but overall, the track was really dry. And
oh, that was fun. little seat bounce.
Those of you guys that know the track, it's mostly clay here. So when it's real dry, you know, it's just really hard packed and slick. So traction was a little bit of an issue here today. Really more getting stopped than anything. The front end wanted to push out a little bit, but didn't struggle too bad there. Putting the traction down, getting on the gas wasn't too big of a deal. So overall, you know, you just had to be a little bit careful. But, you know, like I said, for those of you that weren't here, that run the Hare Scrambles, but maybe not the Sprint Enduros, you really have to check this track out next year for the Sprint Enduro. Because of the style of racing that this is, you know, going individual starts, 15 seconds apart, it really opens up the opportunity for them to give us some really virgin tight single track stuff, where, you know, when we're racing Hare Scrambles, there's so many people all at once that you could never race some of the terrain that they had here today. You know, there were guys that said that they've been running the races here at Bent Wheels for 15 years. Logan Densmore, you know, he puts on these races, and this was a problem. And the whole day today, I missed so many turns. But either way, Logan said, you know, he's been racing here for like 15 years. He's never seen the terrain that we rode today. A lot of people didn't even know that it existed on this property. So, like I said, you know, kudos to the Bent Wheelers. They laid out a really sweet track. It was a lot of fun. Next year, I will most likely not be racing any of the Bent Wheels races. I'm planning on pledging the club next year, so I'm sure as a pledge will be devoted to working the races. But you know, for any of you guys that have thought about joining a club, I definitely recommend getting into it. Any of you guys that follow the chatters that's going on Facebook and stuff, there's a lot of things happening right now in the general ORV community. Snowmobiles, side-by-sides, quads, dirt bikes. There's a lot of different things going on right now, and if you enjoy riding the trail systems that Michigan has, it's definitely important to get involved. Over the last couple years, I haven't really done much, and I'm starting to realize now myself that it really is important for us to get involved. And the Bent Wheels guys are a huge part of the CCC system. And yeah, realistically, all of the different clubs that you can join, do work with the trail systems, and they give back to the riding community. So if nothing more than just having some new buddies to ride with on some awesome ground, we got to get out there and get more involved with trying to make sure that we protect our rights as motorcycle riders, to make sure that we've got our own place that's safe for us to ride, and that we're not being invaded by side by sides and everything else. But yeah, that's just my little spiel on that. The Hare Scramble video, I actually intended to mention that, and I completely forgot about it, so I'm saying it now. So for all you guys that have been thinking about it, definitely give it some serious consideration, because it is good for our sport. And the Bent Wheels guys especially, this club started as a competition club, and most of the members are getting older. Not to say that they're old, most of them still ride, but most of them don't really compete anymore. And especially for doing events like this, it takes guys like us that still race, that want to race, to lay out these courses and be able to give the general racing community what they want as far as terrain. So if people like me and other guys like you that are out there that race, we can really help this sport grow. The Bent Wheels had record turnouts at the Hare Scramble, and they had a really good turnout at the Sprint Enduro as well. So that's definitely good news for future races, because I didn't hear anybody complaining about the terrain. So hopefully that turns into good things for the future, as far as the club and future races with the Bent Wheelers. But yeah, I definitely plan on joining their club next year for sure. I may even pledge later this year. I really don't know how that works. Generally I think that they'd like you to be a part of hanging out and going to the meetings and stuff through the whole year. But my cousin is a Bent Wheeler, and so I've hung out with these guys a little bit in the past, so maybe I'll just sneak in and pledge this year anyway, even though I haven't been pledging the whole year. So enough about that. Again, like I said, the terrain here was awesome today. The one big issue that I ran into, and you already saw it in part of it, is not that the trails weren't marked well, but there was a lot of existing trails that we ran for the Hare Scramble that generally flow really well, and you, especially if you've already ridden the Hare Scramble, you kind of know where those trails are supposed to go. And because they were able to give us new trails, you know, some of the trails that you would expect to go one way go a different way. And so I definitely missed several turns during the race today. Not really that big of a deal. I did find out, for those of you that watch Max or MC's Bike Life, he actually had a head-on collision at the beginning of the race because of guys that got a little bit turned around, were unsure of where to go, so they actually turned around on the track and ended up running head-on to him, or head-on into him. Thank God everybody was okay. Just a little bit of a tweaked front end for Max. So, yeah, right there, accidentally took a wrong turn again, but luckily I was able to get right back on the track there. So, oops, it was not the first time that I did that today, or in that section today. It was actually the second time I did that exact same thing. And as the day went on, that path got more and more worn in to where other people were doing the exact same thing. So, yeah, definitely had to be paying attention on this track. But if you want to see the Enduro section, I think it's going to be about 16 minutes and 5 seconds is when the Enduro section starts. Make sure, if you want to see the really epic terrain, to make sure to watch until the roughly 28 minutes and 30-second mark, I think it is where the new terrain comes in, where it was real big hill climbs and river cross or creek crossings, not a river. But yeah, the creek crossings and stuff, they were awesome. It's that kind of stuff that I really wish that we could do in a hare scramble, but there just isn't the room. With that kind of technical stuff, with the amount of people that we have in the hare scrambles, you just can't put that kind of terrain in a race. Otherwise, it turns into a total mess. There were already, you know, just in this format, there was a lot of backups in certain areas. But overall, it was good. They rerouted us as they had to get around some riders that were struggling. Never had to rope anything off permanently, but maybe, you know, one time through, especially on the lap that I posted. You know, we had to, I had to get rerouted just past a corner. But as you can see there, you know, that was one of the creek crossings. If I remember right, I think there was 3 or 4. But yeah, they got a little bit sketchy. Just some really deep, slippery ruts, but yeah, I didn't struggle too bad at all today. I ended up, I'll tell you guys right now, I ended up finishing 4th. That was in the, I can't remember, it's 30 plus lights class, or just C lights. I think it may have been C lights. I don't think there's a 30 plus C lights. So C lights, that's all age ranges, 250 cc's and down. So yeah, I'll take a 4th place. I don't remember how many people were actually in my class. I don't think there was actually that many. There were several people in other classes, but you know, I'm running against guys of all ages in a open class or open lights class, and I know at least the guy that finished 5th, I think I was something like 30 minutes ahead of him. So it was a very solid 4th place. I was actually battling for third place. The start of the last test, I was 10. I think I was 10 seconds out of third place, and I ended up. There was no way that I could get that third place finish because my brakes started to fade because of these mud pits. They started to fade towards the end of the day. And about 2 turns into the final test of the day, my rear brakes completely went away. So I had to go through the whole last Enduro section basically minus 2 turns with 0 brakes in the rear, which made traversing the hill climbs up and down with only front brakes really, really tough, to say the least. But it is what it is. I had a great day, and I had a lot of fun. Again, thanks a ton to all the bent wheelers. And I am going to quit talking now because I have to get back to work. But I hope you guys enjoy the video. Again, sorry it took so long to get it out, but it is what it is. I know you guys understand. So, hope you enjoy it, and we will see you on the 4th at Polka Dots. Peace out.